Welcome to the first installment of our video blog, and I'd like you to meet a fascinating young man. This is Casey. He's going to be 4 years old in December, and he's recently come into our office for us to spend a little time with him and to get started with our work. So I wanted to share with you today the kinds of things we do to sort of look at children and how we evaluate, how they're doing. And this is quite an informal observation that we're going to do. So he came in for the morning and we spent some time with him to do a few different activities to try to get a sense of what his level was, what he could do, what he was good at, what he wasn't so good at. So I'm going to be sharing with you today some videos of that and kind of talk you through the process of, what we were doing and what we were looking at. So I'm going to start with the first video, and what you're going to see here is this is a video of me. I've just got some toys out, I got some Lego out, and we're sitting down, and I'm not interacting with him a whole lot. I'm kind of just playing next to him, and what I'm looking for is to see, does he talk to me? Does he comment? Does he initiate anything to me? Does he grab my hand? Or, how is his toy play with the Lego? What does he do with the Lego? So I'm just really kind of observing what he does without a lot of interaction on my part. So why don't we have a look at this clip and see what you think. Okay, so let's meet Casey. Little garden. Alright, you're gonna have to tidy him up later. Put this one here. This one. Oh, what? Nice, orange one. Okay. There we go. Nice. If I move that one there, you might just squeeze one in there. Probably not. I don't think that's going to fit, is it? Yeah, it doesn't fit. Never mind. But that's still pretty, isn't it? Little garden. We can put this guy in there. He can look after the flowers for us, look. Okay, so there's a few things you notice with this young man. Firstly, he's very, very cute, isn't he? And a delight to hang out with. He's very interested in the toys. You can see him quite actively grabbing the Lego and attempting to build some things. He tried to build some towers. Also in that session, he was putting flowers on a garden and seemed quite interested in the activity. Quite engaged. There was no real kind of interfering behaviors. He sat well and was quite focused on, what we were doing, which was really wonderful. So those are some really good strengths we can see from that video. He also paid attention to what I was doing quite often. You would see him look at my activity to see what I was doing, what I was making. So he's quite aware of his environment and what was going on around him. He didn't look at me so much in terms of his joint attention. He tended more to reference the objects and the activities that I was playing with. So he didn't reference me that much. You also notice he didn't say very much in the video. He didn't really comment much on what he was saying, what he was doing. He didn't really make any requests or comment on his environment. And so he's quite quiet. He also, I wasn't quite sure what he was doing with the toys at times. It seems like he knows how to stack and build some of those things, but it seemed like he didn't have a very sophisticated game plan to perhaps build a city or some cars or a spaceship or to, do some of those kind of things. So that gave us some information about perhaps where he's at. Again, he's new to me. I probably spent a little bit of time just getting to know him before this session. So he doesn't know me very well. He seems quite calm and easy. Okay, let's watch another video. Now, the next thing I wanted to try to see what he would do is to look at how spontaneous he is with some of his requesting, whether he would ask for things that he wants using his language. So you can see in this video, I set up some situations where he would be required to ask for some things. One is that he wanted some help, and the other situation is where he has to ask for an object. So let's see how he does with that. want me to put it on here? I can do that. There. Oh, you want help? I can put it on here. There, I'm good at this. Look. Ta-da!
Help.
It's a flower.
Flower.
Yeah.
Help.
Help? Sure. Look, let me put that right there. There you go. Okay, so you can see in this clip, he's got some words, right? And is able to use those. You see at the beginning of the clip, he kind of grabs my hand to indicate that he wants me to help him to put the flower on the board. He doesn't say anything. And you'll see in the clip, I tell him to say, oh, you want help? As soon as I told him what to say one time, actually, after that, straight away, he would ask me for help. But you see also, he continued to ask for help when I switched and had him ask more specifically for the flower. He made the switch quite quickly, which shows he's quite bright and flexible in his use of language. So that was exciting to see as well. So he definitely has some skills in requesting. I wouldn't say it's like as super fluid as I'd like to see, and maybe he's not really using a lot of sentences, etc. at this point, but I think he's going to be very, very easy to teach to become quite fluent in these skills of requesting for things that he wants. Okay, let's look at another video. In this video, I'm going to take a look and see how good he is at basically answering some very basic questions and see, how he does with that. So let's take a look. What do you think that is?
Where?
No. What's this?
Flower.
Flower. Yeah, you're right. Let's put it in. Ooh, what's that? What's that?
What's that?
I don't know, let's ask. What's that?
What's that?
Call it girl.
Oh, what's that?
What's that?
Listen, what's that?
Girl.
Oh,
Girl.
what do you think that is?
Go.
It is a girl. Let's put her inside. Okay, so you can see in this video, he's quite responsive. Actually, whenever I ask him a question, he's very eager to respond and, tell me if he knows the answer. In the first clip, you can see I asked him, what is it? And what he did say, he said red. And I gave him some feedback. He actually changed his response based upon me telling him he's got it wrong, which also shows that he's quite able to pick up on feedback, to change his responses, which is really, really good. It may also mean that perhaps comprehension-wise, he might need a little bit more help to more accurately discriminate the kinds of questions. Now, you can also see in the clip that there's an item he doesn't know, and he echoes when I ask him. He repeats the question that I say. So perhaps at this point, he doesn't have a good repertoire of being able to tell somebody he doesn't know or ask for help in that kind of situation. But I also asked the other person in the room to see if he's observant and can do some very basic observational learning skills. And you can see he picks up the information quite well from the other person, which is also quite good, showing he's quite attentive to what the other people are doing around him. So that's also a nice skill. Okay, in the next clip, I tried to engage him in a song. And the purpose of that is to see if I could get some affect, some social engagement with him, if that's difficult, if that's easy. And also with this song, I want to see if he's going to initiate with me when I finish to maybe sing it again, whether he'll engage me as well as a sort of reciprocal kind of game or song. So let's watch that video. Should we sing a song together? Ready? Let's sing Row, Row Your Boat. Ready? Put your arms out. Yeah, like this. Put your arms out. Good. Ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. You know this song. Merrily, 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 lie
life is but a dream. Say sing.
Sing.
All right, ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream. Ah! That's so silly. Hey, let's sing some more. Say sing.
Sing.
Okay, so you can see in the video, he liked that song a lot. He found that really fun. You could see him smiling, a lot of affect, really socially engaged with the activity, which was really, really great to see. And I didn't have to work very hard with that. He clearly liked the song and has sung that before. And you notice also when I leave gaps in the song, he's able to fill in with his words, which is also a wonderful thing. So that was a good activity that showed that probably he could be quite easily socially engaged in probably quite a lot of different activities. So that was good. You notice though that when I stop at the end, I think he's not quite sure that maybe he could sing it again. He doesn't independently kind of initiate much or remember to say the word sing. He kind of sometimes gets a little lost and starts paying attention to other things in the room. But super easy to engage in those kind of activities, which is a great sign. Okay, now in this next clip, we're finished with some of the toys on the floor and I ask him to follow some simple instructions. So let's have a look at that.
Bunny! All right, can you stand up? Very good. Give me a high five. Say hooray! Hooray! Okay, can you go sit on the chair? Oh, hang on, listen. Can you go sit on the chair?
Sit at the chair. Sit at the chair.
Please.
Please.
All right, hang on, listen. Can you go sit on the chair?
Sit down.
Okay, so you can see from that video, he's having some difficulty in following some of the instructions that are a bit more complicated. So for the stand up and those other ones, quite simple. He's very responsive again, as you can see from the video, keen to follow my instructions. But he got a bit confused when it was sit on the chair, which is really a two-part kind of instruction. So he may need some help with, again, comprehension in terms of putting multiple pieces of information together to help him to understand what people may want to ask him to do or questions he may need to answer. Okay, so now in the next clip, I have him sit down with me and I try to do some little bit task with him. And I'm looking to see what's his quality of attention. Is he eager and motivated to work with me? How difficult is that? And maybe look at some of the skills he might have. So I choose something. I choose a matching task and see whether he's able to follow and do this task. So let's take a look at that video.
Keishy racing. Now look what we got. Ooh, a lot of cards. Can you match this one? Find the same one? Look, goes on there. Yeah, they're the same. Okay, pick another one. Pick one. This one. Where does that go? Oh, you dropped it. Here. Where does that go? Oh, not there. Hang on, wait. Let's have a look. Where does this go?
Go.
Goes here. Right. Goes with the car. Oh, what's next? Pick one. Ooh. Where's that?
What's that?
It's a hairbrush, isn't it? Yeah, very good. You found it. Pick another one. What's that?
What's that? What's that?
Have another try. Can you match this? Oh, Casey, you're not paying attention. Over here, buddy. Can you match this?
That's it.
Right. Where does that go?
Where does that go? Where does that go?
Good. You found the bear. What about this one? Where does that go?
Where's it go? Where's it go?
Oh, you have a look. Have another try. Where does this go?
Where's this go?
Right. Fork goes with the fork. Do you remember where this goes? Find that. Oh, you're just playing with it. Let's put it somewhere. Ready? Find this.
Okay, so a bit of a longer clip there, and there's a lot going on in there. Now, I think in the video it looks like he doesn't know how to match the items, and he's having trouble kind of, you know, putting them with the right items unless he's provided a prompt from me. I think he probably can match, and I think he's just confused perhaps with my instruction or what I want him to do. It's just an assessment on our first day. But you notice a few things. One is he's keen and able to follow prompts. So for example, when I point to the card as a clue, or I give him different kinds of clues in the training, he's able to quickly follow those, which is good because it means he understands, you know, the help being provided. He seems to be actively engaged at times, but at other times you notice he kind of drifts a little, and I struggle to maintain his attention. I'm not doing any intervention with him. I'm just trying to be like a teacher might be with a child teaching. So you see there's times when I kind of lose his attention. I have to kind of, you know, work a bit to try to get him back into the lesson and try to work. So this may be something that occurs when he's finding it difficult, because I think for some of the time perhaps his success rate was a little low, and that might contribute to him kind of switching off and looking around and not being so attentive. This may be something we're going to need to work on in terms of his self-directed attention, his ability to stick with things when they get a little bit difficult, but also probably increasing his repertoire of skills that he's able to do so that he finds it easier to engage in the lessons. Okay, let's have a look at the next video. In this video, I'm going to see if he can answer some simple questions related to objects, and also work in a couple of other instructions. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Wes, can you give me the car? Very nice. What's that?
Car.
Yeah, you drive in a car. Okay, can you give me the flower? Can you smell the flower?
Yeah.
Now listen, smell the flower.
Flower.
You do it. Ready? Do this. Okay. What about this one? What's that?
Car.
Yeah, good. Can you point to the cup? Hang on, listen. Can you point to the cup?
Okay, so you can see from the video,
Okay.
he's quite good at labeling. There's a lot of labels he knows. His articulation is quite clear, which is nice. You can hear clearly what he's saying. And, you know, in terms of understanding to pick the things up to give to me, very good, can label the items. Isn't so good when I'm asking him to do some different kinds of instructions. So I ask him to imitate me, to, you know, copy to smell. And I also ask him to point versus just label. My guess is when he sees cards like that, he tends to label them as opposed to do other kinds of operations with them. So this, again, may be another area we have to explore a little bit, to see whether he can listen more carefully to comprehend the different kinds of instructions you might do with the same material. But you also see in that video he sometimes repeats, you know, the instructions, or kind of, again, when he's not so successful, starts to drift a bit. And I would imagine that doesn't help him to be understanding what the lessons are. These may be curriculum he's able to do, but maybe under this particular setting today, he wasn't able to demonstrate those skills. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at something interesting, because when I first met the mother, Mum told me that, oh, he's really, really good at reading. And I was fascinated by that, you know, to see. So in this session, I kind of do a little bit of reading with him to see, you know, is he able to read words? What does that look like? Let's take a look at that video.
Ma.
Good.
Dad.
Good.
Wing.
Wind.
Shoe.
Shoe.
8.
Good.
Wood.
Wood.
Box.
That's boot.
Boot.
Boot. Bar, right.
Don't.
Nearly. It's snow.
No.
Yeah, you got a lot of those, didn't you? Now, let's see if you can do it without the reading. Okay. How about this one?
No.
No? All right, what is it?
No.
Saw, right. What about this one? Huh? No? What is it? It's a pie. All right, what about this one? You should know this. What is it? Huh? Come on, you tell me, what is it? Bird! Good! What about... Okay, so you can see in the video, he's pretty good at reading. Now, the reason I covered up the words was to see whether, when he covers up the words, is he able to label the item or is he really reading? Actually, he's much better at reading than he is actually understanding what the items are, which tells me that perhaps his reading comprehension may not be good, but perhaps his structure of being able to memorize or phonetically read perhaps is really strong. This may be a really good strength for him that we will be able to incorporate into our therapy, maybe a strength that we can use to foster and develop other kinds of language or communication skills. So this is a great strength for him to have that we can perhaps use to our advantage in the teaching process. Okay, in this short clip, you're going to see us just looking at his imitation skills, and I do a little bit of body imitation. I also do some verbal imitation to see how many parts of a sentence can he kind of like say back and remember. Let's have a look. See if you can copy what I do. All right, you ready? Can you do this one? Hey, watch me, come on. Do this. Hey, Casey, come on, you try. Ready? Can you do this? Yeah, very nice. Can you do this? Wow, how about this? How about this? Good. What about this one? Good. Can you say bus? How about big brown fox? Very nice. Say the boy is swimming. Hey, you say it. Say the boy is swimming. Yeah. Okay, so he is not the most super accurate kind of imitator, perhaps, but is certainly able to understand the process of imitation. And he's very good actually at repeating back sentences. He's quite clear and accurate in terms of remembering all the parts to like a 4-word sentence, which will be, again, very, very helpful when we're teaching him to understand more complex language. So this is a very, very good sign with those skills. Okay, in the next segment, we looking at whether he's understanding some simple verb combinations. So I put out a lot of pictures, and I'm going to ask him to give me and identify some simple verbs and object kind of combinations. Let's have a look. Now, how about this one? How about cutting carrot? Hey, listen, Casey, can you give me cutting carrot? Yeah, right. What's that one? Right. Chop, 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 chop. How about playing the puzzle? Can you give me playing the puzzle? All right, let's listen again. Ready? Can you give me playing the puzzle? Right, good. What's this one? Right, we did that earlier, didn't we? We played the puzzle. We made a puzzle of a house. Okay, how about reading a book? Reading the book. Where is it? Okay, so he was not doing so well with this task and needed quite a lot of prompts. There's a lot of cards on the table, and he may have done better if there was less. Again, I'm not quite sure if he's understanding what he needs to do, what the task is. He does follow when I provide some prompts, and is also quite good expressively when I ask him, oh, what is it? And he'll actually say the whole thing. Again, I'm not quite sure he's understanding what I'm requiring him to do at that point.
But again, it's just an initial assessment at this point of maybe an area he might need to work in. Okay, the last thing we did as part of our kind of meeting with him on the first day is I put him in one of our groups. And we have a group that runs every day. It's a sort of simulated kindergarten program called Little Learners. And we send him in there to see how he would do in a group setting. Let's have a look at how he does in the group.
Papa has some corn. Then Papa decided to have some bread. Afterwards, she decided to grill some yummy, yummy, yummy marshmallow and some really yummy chicken wings. Casey, what do you have? You didn't say anything. Casey, what is this? Good try, okay? Casey, what is this? Is that candy or is that chicken wings? So what is it? Alright, this is a chicken wing. Okay, what is this?
Chicken wing.
Oh, okay. Good job. Okay, please take a seat.
And then sausage.
That's right. We have the corn, the bread, the marshmallow. And then, this time, good looking at teacher. Alright, and then this time, Peppa would like to cook for her really amazing friends. So this time, she's going to cook for Candy Cat. Candy Cat really wants some yummy sausage. And she also likes chicken wings. Alright, Casey, why don't you put chicken wings onto the board? You didn't do anything. Put chicken wing on the board. Thank you.
Okay, so there were some really good things. Firstly, behaviorally, he was really good. Like, he sat for a long time. He wasn't any trouble. There was no interfering behaviors at all. He seemed to be paying attention to the teacher and what was going on in the group. That was really good. So I was very, very happy to see that. Problem was he didn't really seem to understand a lot of the instructions being provided. Christy provided him quite a lot of direct questions and instructions, but it seemed like he wasn't really able to follow what it was. It may be because those instructions perhaps are too complicated, or he's not understanding the game or the routine that we've got going on in there. But I could imagine that he might become a bit lost if he was in a classroom setting like that, where they were using a lot of typical language and a lot of natural language to instruct the students what to do. But that gives us a good insight as to how he might be, maybe in a school or in a classroom, which is great information to know. Okay, so that's all the videos. We did spend a bit more time with him than what you see in there, but that's generally, looking at how he does. He's certainly got some great strengths. He was really well behaved, the whole morning he was in, and was eager to please us by, following instructions and doing the different tasks we laid out. That's certainly a great plus. I'm not sure if we have to do a lot of, proactive work around, maybe a lot of disruptive behaviors that some children bring to us when they begin sessions. I certainly would like to work on the area of his initiation, self-directed attention, and develop some curriculum and programs that can have him be more on task, sharper, attentive to what's going on, perhaps deal with, curriculum when it is a little bit more challenging for him, to stick with it. And I'd like to develop his social initiation around activities and games, and we're going to have to think about how we're going to develop specific kinds of activities as a vehicle to build and develop those skills. And obviously his language, we're going to have to sort of really precisely look at, some of those areas around his comprehension, his ability to be requesting and use language spontaneously, as well as understand, more complex kinds of instructions and information. So we'll have to break all of these skills down into a very individualized curriculum and get started working with him quickly. I'm going to share with you in the next video how that's gone, the kind of programs we developed for him to manage these kinds of issues and the kind of approach we'd use. And you'll also be able to see, hopefully, the remarkable progress he makes in the next 5 days in working with us here at AP. Thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing how Casey does in the next video.